beautiful trees and the forest and blah, blah, blah. And by the time they're actually moving on and teaching the math concepts, she's looking out the window. Hi, I'm Aileen, and this is Homeschool with the Clarks. Today, I want to chat with you about what we are keeping and what is going to go for the 25-26 school year. If you're new here, I am currently homeschooling 3.5 kiddos. Next year, they will be in 8th grade, 6th grade, 3rd grade, and then TK. I have been assessing what we're going to use for next school year, and I thought it would be fun to just go through and share before I share all of my curriculum picks and figure all of that out, because I'm still thinking it through. I thought I would share with you the things that I know for sure are staying next year, the things I know for sure are going next year. I also have this like in between unsure area for quite a few things because I'm still deciding on how we're going to proceed for next school year. If you've watched other videos over the years that I've shared, you know that I do tend to reassess every year and I change curriculum every year. Usually we don't stick with stuff always because I feel like every year is a new opportunity to meet needs. I'm always reassessing how things are going with my kids and what I want to focus on for that next year, especially with things like language arts, where there's all of these moving parts. And I feel like a lot of curriculums are strong in one area. And so sometimes I will pick and choose different things depending on the year and what I think I need to focus on with my kids. I will also combine things and take a piece from this curriculum and a piece from that curriculum and mesh them together to make it work for my family. There's a couple things I like to reference when I'm deciding on this. One is A Well-Trained Mind. I read through that book. Gosh, I'm forgetting the name of the other book. So I'm going to put it up here, but it's like Homeschooling Your Child Year by Year, but that is not the exact name. So I'll put a picture up because I'll go look at my bookshelf after I film this video and I will tell you that book. I love looking at those two books to just kind of help guide me on what I should be doing next with my kids for that grade level. And also the other thing is I like to assess my season of life. So you'll see that I'm dropping something, a language arts curriculum that I actually really like, but it's very teacher intensive. And since I'm going to be officially adding my TKer in next year, I kind of need one of my kids to be more independent. So we're going to switch things up. Let's start with staying. Okay, here's the things that are staying for our next school year. I have my little cheat sheet here. So the first thing that is staying is the story of the world. We use the story of the world this year for our Middle Ages study, and I like it. We're gonna stick with it. It's working for us, so we will just move on to early modern times with that, or early modern history with story of the world. I like that it is family style learning focused. And so I was able to meet the needs of my 7th grader and also meet the needs of my 2nd grader. I was able to add in more written narration and additional reading options for my older child. I was able to offer coloring pages to my 2nd grader, also to my preschooler, because she likes to sit at the table and be involved. We did oral narration all together. We did map work all together. We did timeline all together. And there are so many cool book list options for every single chapter in the activity book. So it really, really has met our needs. And I love family style learning. That helps me save time, but I also feel like we're building memories and just being together instead of everyone going to their own little separate nook all day and doing school. We get to do half of our school day together because we do history and science and like morning time type stuff together. So the next thing that we're keeping, and this is something that we started using this year for morning time, and my kids absolutely love it, and that is World Watch News. Someone had shared about it, I think over the summer or early school year, and they shared like a 3-month code. And I got free for 3 months. And then at that point we were hooked, and it's not very expensive. It's like $6.99 a month. I love that it's a Christian worldview. It has a good mix of US history, world history, and then they always include like something like fun and quirky and some kind of fun fact. And that has been really good for my kids. There have been some more like adult topics, but they have this like warning at the top. And it'll say it like at the beginning, like the third story, and then it'll pop the warning up again when the story comes up. And I just tell anyone younger than 7th grade, please leave the room for a minute. So all my girls leave. I've decided to let my 7th graders stay for those stories. And then sometimes we will pause and have additional discussions based on that. But for the most part, they've been able to watch all of it. They really enjoy it. And it's definitely going to stay. If you want to try it, I do have a code, I believe, for 1 month free. So I'll include that in the description box. The next thing that is staying is something new that we started partway through this year, and that is EIW, Essentials in Writing. Now, I have known about Essentials in Writing for years, and I was always hesitant to try it because they break up their grammar for the first part of the year, and then they do writing for the second part of the year. And I don't like that it's like you're only working on grammar for half the year and you're only working on writing for half the year, because I feel like my kids really benefit from working on writing year round. Now, I do pull in writing from other places. Like I said, we do written narration for history. That's a big one. I gave it a try. We've been using it this year, the second semester, for my 5th grader. And what I did is they have different schedules on their website, and I use their 10-week schedule, which essentially only does the writing portion of the curriculum. And that has given her so much like independence and confidence in her writing. And their video lessons, and they're like extremely short. Like the lessons, it's like maybe like between 5 and 20 minutes long for like to complete the whole thing for the day. So it's very quick, but she's feeling more confident in her writing. She is starting to learn essay writing, which we had not previously done because we were so focused on reading for many years. And so that's been really great for her. We are going to keep it for next year. I don't know how we're going to do it. I'm toying with either alternating between a grammar section and a writing section, or just skipping the grammar and only doing the writing, because we will be bringing in some other language arts curriculum for novel studies that includes grammar. And so I'm not sure if we need the grammar, but I love the writing. I love that the videos are really short and keep her attention. She doesn't get distracted, and it's very light on the needs of the teacher. And that is what I need in this current season. I need her to be able to do some things independent. Speaking of language arts for my 5th grader, going to be 6th grader next year, the other thing that we are keeping is sequential spelling. We have very, very slowly been working through sequential spelling book 1 over the last 2 years, because it's 180 daily lessons and we don't get to it every day. So we are going to finish up book 1 over the summer and then do book 2 next year. I'm hoping to be more consistent and do it 5 days a week so we can mostly get it done next year. But her spelling is improving. It's really fast. It's inexpensive. The teacher manual is like maybe $15. And it's wordless basically, but they're all like separated by word family. It builds upon itself, and then they'll do different prefixes and suffixes like over several days. And she just needs a whiteboard, and I write any word she didn't write correctly on a whiteboard, and she'll just recopy it down. It's really fast. It's effective. We're sticking with it. The last thing I know for sure that is staying is this year, my 7th grader switched to Saxon math with Nicole, the math lady. He used math 7-6 this year. And his math skills have improved so much. In fact, we homeschool through a charter school in California. And so part of getting funding to help pay for curriculum is my kids have to participate in state testing. And with that, they also do like MAP testing throughout the year. And his MAP testing scores have always been on kind of the lower side for math. And now they've jumped up and they've improved. So is that my kid maturing and things starting to click? Maybe. But also, I think it's Saxon math and Nicole, the math lady. She's so high energy. She keeps his attention. I actually saw her in person. I went to a homeschool convention last summer, and she was there, and she is so fun and so high energy. And I had already been considering her, and then I saw her and just saw how she got all of this hundreds of women standing up and like doing the Macarena or whatever it was that we were doing. I was dancing and I didn't even like, it was just like, she just gets your attention and you just do what she tells you to do. So he's really enjoyed that. He's successful with Saxon math. So we're going to stick with it for 8th grade. He'll be doing 8-7. I have a really long list of the things I'm unsure about. So let's move into unsure for next school year. The first thing is Story of the World. Now, I said we're staying with Story of the World. However, as we move into early modern history, I want to cover US history. And so Story of the World is staying, but we may be implementing something extra for history next school year to cover US history. I'm not really sure what that is yet. I have some curriculum that's coming in the mail that I'm going to check out. I've been toying with like kind of putting my own thing together and adding in and building upon those pieces. So we will see, but there is going to be supplements to Story of the World. The next one is All About Reading. So I am currently using All About Reading pre-reading with my preschooler. We're nowhere near done with it. We will continue in the summer and then possibly early into the next school year. I do have to return our teacher's manual to our lending library at our charter school. So I'm going to have to figure out like either, I don't know, photocopy the rest of the lessons. I don't really want to do that. So probably buy a used copy of a teacher manual. So if you have a teacher manual for sale, let me know. And so we're using that right now, but I'm unsure if we're going to continue with that next year. Historically, I've used Logic of English Foundations to teach my kids to read. And I already own Logic of English Foundations, but I was given All About Reading Level 1. So I'm not sure. Are we going to stick with All About Reading and continue to Level 1 for her next year? Are we going to start in Logic of English next year, which I'm not really sure she's ready for? Or am I going to do another like pre-K curriculum next year and wait to do like full on reading instruction and just continue with like the alphabet? I'm not sure. I don't know. The next one I'm not sure about, and I love it. Love, love, love it. It's been so great for family studies, but I'll explain. And that is the Good and the Beautiful science units. This year we did geology, health in the human body, and we are wrapping up space. And I have loved them. It's another one where it's like I can meet my younger kids where they need. You can see I did a flip through and kind of a review of them. So I'll make sure I link the video for that. But I love that I can, include my youngest child, and then they have extension activities for my middle schooler. So it's been really great. However, there is a nature study that we did a few years ago that has come out with like an intermediate level, and I want to do that again next year so that I can do it with my youngest. But because they have like this older like intermediate extension, it has like science experiments and science notebooking and all those things. So I feel like it would meet the needs for my kids. So I want to do that, but I don't know if I can do that and still do the Good and the Beautiful science units. I don't know if that's going to be too much and if we're not going to get to all of it. So I'm just not sure. I do still have Good and the Beautiful mammals, and we wanted to at least do their, it's like physics, but it's not called physics. It's like machines or something. I'll post a picture. I wanted to at least do 2. We did 4 units this year, including one from the Waldock Way, weather. So I don't know if I can do 2 of those units and the nature study, or if that's still going to be too much. I just like want to do all the things. And so I know myself, I want to do all the things, and then I don't get to all the things. So I'm trying to be realistic, but I also really have enjoyed their science. My kids have enjoyed it. I feel like they're learning. And again, the family study togetherness is where it's at. Okay, the next one, Fix It Grammar. We love Fix It Grammar. My oldest has been using it for the last few years. He's wrapping up level 2 because we kind of have used them slowly, not doing it 5 days a week. He's wrapping up level 2. I already have level 3. However, you'll see when I talk about things that are going next, if I drop something else and switch to a different language arts curriculum, the grammar may be included in there. And so I'm just unsure if we're going to continue with that. However, I wasn't planning on using Fix It Grammar this year because we were doing the Good and the Beautiful language arts, but he gave me a really hard time and was like, no, I want to do my Fix It Grammar. So that's why I'm unsure, because I feel like we could just drop it and we could use a different grammar, but he really likes it. So he may have a problem with me dropping it, and we do already have it, so I could just give it to him to do. But again, I don't want to give him too much to do. So, and then the other one I'm unsure about, we did start using word roots beginning with my 5th grader this year. I added that in when I bought the EIW, and she had been doing just a little bit here and there a few times a week of the word roots, which is like vocabulary. And I do think it's helpful. But because we're also doing the sequential spelling, I kind of feel like it's too much. Like, I want her to do vocabulary, and she's going to be in 6th grade next year. I think she should do some vocabulary, but is it too much for her right now? And if we do novel studies, depending on the novel study, they may have vocabulary as well. But the word roots is more like word study vocabulary, like the derivation of the words and things like that, and then how the word definition changes as you add different words to it. So I don't know. I really like the program. I just don't know if it's going to work for us next year. Okay, so that's all for my unsure section of what's staying, what's going for next year. Let's talk about what is going for next year. The first one is the good and the beautiful math. Now, I forgot to mention this in staying. It is going to stay for my 3rd grader. She's using the good and the beautiful math, or she's finished level 2. She started level 3 this year, even though she's currently in 2nd grade. And it was a lot. Like, 3rd grade math is just hard. It doesn't matter what the curriculum is. And so we paused that, and she's doing like an IXL level grade 2 workbook for the rest of the school year just to like work on math facts. She'll stick, I think, with the good and the beautiful level 3, grade 3 for next year. But my 5th grader, it's just not working for us anymore. And, we had switched to the good and the beautiful math a couple years ago. We were using an online math program, and we moved to the good and the beautiful math, and it was exactly what we needed. And she's learning a lot. However, she gets distracted easily, and their videos are just so fluffy. And I know people love their videos. Their videos are really cool, and I love that they have videos for that age group teaching the math, but they don't start by teaching the actual number math. They always incorporate some real world thing into it. They're like, look at these beautiful trees and the forest and blah, blah, blah. And by the time they're actually moving on and teaching the math concept, she's looking out the window. She is so distracted. It's just not working for her personality, the way her brain works. She doesn't want to stop doing the good and the beautiful because she likes that it's really colorful and that it has games and puzzles. She really enjoys that piece. But it's to the point now where I'm doing the lesson with her every day. And it's better for our relationship if I'm not doing the lesson every day because it turns into a battle. Now, am I available to help her with math every day? Of course I am. Of course I am. But I want her to be able to access the lesson independently and then come to me after if she's still stuck. And she's stuck every day because the videos are not working for her. So that is out. We are not going to continue with it next year. And with that, I'm considering after 3rd grade math for my incoming 3rd grader, when she goes to 4th grade math, we may not continue with her either, even though she has a different personality. I just don't love their videos. I know they're really fun. It's just, they're distracting. And I feel like may have a problem with it too. So we'll assess that next year. But my 5th going into 6th grader, we're done. We're done with the good and the beautiful math. We are not going to use it anymore. Another thing that's the good and the beautiful is their language arts. I was using it with all 3 of my kids at the beginning of this school year, not my preschooler, but the 2nd, 5th, and 7th graders at the beginning of the school year. And we've slowly tapered out. My 7th grader, as mentioned, he really loves Fix-It Grammar. And so going to the good and the beautiful language arts, which I've used with him in the past, but it's been a couple of years because we were doing IEW. He just gave me a really hard time and it was such a battle. He loved the geography, the geography cards, the state facts, all of that. That was his jam. He loved the sentence dictation, but those were extra pieces. Those weren't the meat of the curriculum. The books were okay. They weren't that great. He was bored with the books. And then the writing, they just, like I've mentioned at the beginning of my video, different language arts curriculum companies are strong in different areas. I feel like The Good and the Beautiful is really good at incorporating extra subjects into their language arts. Of course, they make their things beautiful. They're open and go, make it really easy for the teacher. And I feel like they're good at teaching grammar, but they just teach it in a different way than Fix-It Grammar, which is what he had a problem with. But their writing is not structured enough for him. He needs more structure. He still needs a lot of hand-holding. So halfway through the school year, we ended up switching to IEW, which I did share about that in a video, like our big changes video in January. We switched to IEW, switched back to IEW, which is not EIW, it's IEW. And IEW, we use the theme-based writing. And those are really good. They're really good at teaching him how to write. He is successful with them, but they are extremely teacher intensive. And he's going to be in 8th grade next year. So that's tricky. But so back to The Good and the Beautiful. I'm like going on a tangent here. He started with The Good and the Beautiful level 7. We got rid of it halfway through the year and switched to IEW and Fix-It Grammar. My 5th grader was in The Good and the Beautiful language arts level 4. And, you know, when at the beginning, she was a late reader. And so she tested into level 4, almost to level 3, but she was going into 5th grade. So we read the level 3 readers over the summer, moved into level 4, and I felt like it really fit her needs for the first half of the school year. But then it wasn't anymore. I needed to focus on writing, which is when we switched to EIW. And then, so we're not going to do The Good and the Beautiful next year for her. And then my 2nd grader is about to wrap up The Good and the Beautiful language arts level 3, which has been wonderful. I love that level. It is amazing. It has great readers. I feel like it does do a good job of teaching beginning writing, like writing paragraphs. I like that it's got like the poetry and the art and the geography. I love those things. And she enjoys their spelling as well. But having done level 4 this year, I don't want to do level 4 with her. I don't think that's going to be the right fit. I think we're going to focus on novel studies, and we're going to dig really into reading a bunch of really good chapter books because that's where she's at and that's what she wants to do. So we're done. We're done with The Good and the Beautiful language arts, and that's okay. It really fit our needs for a while, and next year it's just not going to. And we'll see what the future holds with that. And that's it. Those are all everything. I laid it all out for you. So I now need to figure out what we're going to do next and how we're going to proceed. And I'll let you know. Stay tuned for my curriculum picks videos. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I'd love it if you could give me a thumbs up. And if you liked this content, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.